Did you know that 82% of the world's income goes to the top 5% of people on Earth? That only leaves 18% to the rest of us, which is not a lot. And 62 people from that top 5% has the same amount of wealth as half of the bottom group of people, which is a lot of money for 62 people. I researched this for at least 2 to 3 weeks, and I feel like I can take you for a little crash course on this. The top 5% take 74% of retirement funds, and that only leaves 26% to the rest of us. And statistics show that the bottom class has no sense of retirement funds. They're going to be working until they die, which is not a good way to live. Since 1980, the top 1% has doubled in wealth than the bottom half combined. This problem is very important because people are starting to gain wealth and people are starting to lose wealth to the point where you're going to be in debt for your entire life for college. Because we have education, yes, but it costs money for that education. And some people don't have that money. Majority of the people don't have the money and they're left in debt until they're like 40. My dad is paying off his art school debt still, and he is 50. And yes, he went to school later on in his life, but that doesn't change the fact that he is still in debt $40,000 when he only makes at the most $60,000 a year. That's it. And there's different ways that we can find a way to balance things in a way. Like, I get you have the money. Like, some people are more lucky and born into a wealthy family, which gives them the opportunities to have this wealth and grow with this money because they don't have to worry about school tuition and how much this is going to cost, or if I'm able to pay gas, or if I'm able to pay the bills tonight. They don't have to worry about that because they are fortunate enough. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm saying they need to find ways, because majority of the rich people decide to keep the money for themselves, and they buy jewelry, and they buy clothes, and they buy things to accessorize themselves instead of accessorizing the world. There are children in Africa that don't have homes, don't have schools. They're forced to live outside with nothing. Some of them don't even know what food is. They just know animals. And even at that, the animals they can't kill, they don't have the resources for that. And that is why if we find ways to introduce more, to get people to come together and donate to these causes to help the people that are less fortunate, and understanding that money does make you greedy, but understanding that there's other people who are in need, and you have the ability to give, you should be able to give. It's about character, really. Your character needs to show that you can give and not be mad that you're not receiving. So we need to find ways to help, to get the wealthy, to help donate for the lesser fortunate. We need to just show and bring up new organizations that aren't shown as much, because it helps bring schools. Like, on Instagram, I read a post about a school who had literally nothing. There was mold growing all over the school. And a few miles away, there was another school. This school had everything. Had an auditorium that was freshly painted, like everything was new, up to date. And that just shows, like, when you're in a richer area, you have the choice to become a richer people. Like our school ourselves. Is our school the best school?
No.
No, right? Our ACES building. How good is that building?
Horrible.
Horrible. Thank you. And why? Because we live we live out. We don't live in where people can know. And we just need to. Here's a quote that I found on the internet. Extending one's hand and helping somebody has more value than joining two hands for prayer. It's by unknown. I'm not sure who made it, but that is the quote. And with that quote, I feel like it talks about how most people, they say, let's pray that they'll get better. Let's pray that situations will get better. But in all cases, praying really doesn't do anything but give hope. And yes, hope is a beautiful thing, but can it really help with money?
No.
That is why I'm saying we need to find ways to get the wealthy to become involved in helping the less fortunate. Why are you going so big? This is a shitty speech.
Alright, now. Don't you
I didn't mean for it to get so long, but I kept going.
No,
and going.
hold on.
What?
You made me feel